Hey, I'm Joshua. Welcome to Oyov Games. It's been a while, so let's go. All right, we're back. Hey, so a friend of mine very gently pointed out to me that it's been a while since I've done one of these vlogs. So this is a bit impromptu. I don't really have anything specific prepared, but I have an idea what I want to talk to you about. So let's just jump right into it. Since my last vlog, I did a game jam with a new game that, unfortunately for the game jam, I kind of got it working, but not great. But there was a lot of potential in the game, and I could see how it would pretty easily translate to like a mobile game and monetarily maybe make more sense, be a better way to get people playing something that I've made and get some ad revenue. And that should help maybe fuel the other work that I'm doing that's taking longer than I maybe wanted it to take. So over the last month or so, I have switched gears, and maybe that's what we should talk about. That's one thing to talk about. I'll show you the game in a minute, but here's the thing. When you're trying to do something entrepreneurial, there's often what you think you should do, and then there's what is going to work. And somebody with good sense should see the difference and know when to pivot. And it's easy to fall for the sunk cost fallacy. I've already spent all this time. I've done all this. But if the end goal is to make cool things and get people to pay you for it, it's important to make sure that both of those things are happening. I feel like I'm making cool things, but like I talked about in my last video, the game the like medium-sized game that I've been working on that I've been calling Touchy Touch, where I'm at as a developer, I'm not sure the best way to monetize it. I'm not really looking to shop it to anybody outside to help sell it for me or anything like that. Publishing, I might, but I'm just not ready for that. So when I stumbled onto this in a game jam and saw, hey, wait, this has a clear, this is structured in a clear way like mobile games are often structured, which gives me an easy way to serve ads and try to make some revenue without being intrusive, without getting in the way of the game or feeling incongruent. I really think Touchy Touch, I'm going to have to do a free version that's like a free trial, and then pay $4.99 or something like that to play the whole game. But with that comes that responsibility of making sure that I'm making at least $5 worth of gameplay out of it, which takes more time. And I think when I started to look at this, I realized that I was going to spend more time getting Touchy Touch to that point. Sorry. I just banged the crap out of the microphone, so I'm going to jump cut or something? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you're just going to see me talk about this. I'm talking to you about something I don't think you're going to see. Anyway, I had to really look at it and say, I think I can get this new idea done faster than I can complete the old idea that I'm already working on. So I switched gears. That's all there really is to it. So the, you know what, let me pull up. I'm actually doing some screen recording now so I can show you some things, which is a little awkward because you're over here and it's over there and whatever, you get it. But so the game that I am working on here is actually called The Warp Drive, is offline. So let me just actually pull this thing up. I'll just pull up a preview of it here and show you what we've got going on. Let me make sure there's some audio. I'm not sure if this is recording audio or not. I don't think it is. Let me turn that on too. Okay. If not, whatever. Here's the game. So it's called The Warp Drive is Offline, and here's kind of where I'm at with it. There is kind of a janky version that's out there that you can play now on PC, but it's really just a like early beta. And I've made a lot of progress since then that I have not published for anybody to play. I will follow up this video as soon as I have like a real version out there, either a final beta release to play on PC or just the Android version that you can go out and download and play. That is my goal, is to have an Android version of this very soon. We're talking weeks, not months or anything like that. Like, I'm almost there already. So the warp drive is offline. This title screen needs a little more work. I'm going to zhuzh it up a little bit. That's one of the pieces that's left. But let's just kind of hop right into, let's do just a practice, I think. I don't have that set to run from the title screen. So we'll actually play. And it is a 2-player game, actually. So I'm going to, in the background here, I'm going to start up a second game so that we have somebody to play against, so I can show you what's going on here. So yeah, your warp drive's gone offline. You'll need energy to fix it, but there's a problem. The enemy's been spotted, and you have to use your energy for evasive maneuvers. So that's the setup of the game. Basically, this was inspired by Robo Rally, the old tabletop designer board game, where you draw a card, every player draws cards, and the cards have directions on them, and you have to lay them out, and then everybody sort of plays at once. And that's sort of the idea here, is that I wanted to meld real time with turn-based. So it's an interesting hybrid of the two. So let me go ahead and get in here. And I won't bore you with like loads of gameplay here. I just want to kind of show you how this works in general. Let me switch this so I have the player 1 on your screen instead of showing you player 2 here. That would be awkward. Come on. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start a game. And in the full game, which I have this built, you get to sort of, the first step of this is to choose your cards, but I'm just coming in here with the pre-made deck. So I'm player 1 here, we got player 2 here, and we've already run out of time for the first round. So part of the idea here is that you have a limited amount of time to try to figure out these confusing controls. So the confusing controls is actually supposed to be part of the fun. So I can turn right and I can go forward, and as you can see, it's not up, it's forward, and it's not, turn to the left of the screen. It's all oriented compared to your ship. And keep in mind that player 2 here is a real player. This is a multiplayer game. So each turn, at the end of the turn, you fire a shot. And the goal is to get to 25 energy. When you get to 25 energy, you win, or if you kill the enemy, you win. Now, each time a round goes by, you can actually bank your energy, meaning right now I have 3 directions that I can use. If I hit bank, it ends my turn, and I get 3 energy because I have 3 directional pieces I can use. So when I get to 25, I win, but I have to also dodge this other player. So you have to weigh a handful of decisions each turn. Do I need to move? Do I need to try to maneuver to shoot the opponent? Or do I need to bank my energy to try to gain an advantage? Now, also, a couple of the things that make it a little more interesting is I can repair. So each time you take damage, you actually lose 1 card. So each turn you get less choices and you'll gain less energy. Also, keep in mind, I'm not banking my energy, so I'm not making anything each turn. It's just getting exhausted or vented away. So you do have to get in under the 15 seconds. So it's intentionally a bit quick and stressful and complicated. Making mistakes is going to be part of the game, and it's supposed to be part of the fun. So let me show you a couple things. I can repair for 2 energy, and that will get rid of the damage I've taken. Like that. So now I'm back at full and I have all my pieces. And let's see, I'll move forward because I see there's these energy things. What are these, right? That's part of the mystery. What do they do? So you can, let's say, this goes backwards and these turn. I want to go forward really, but you know what? I would like to get down a spot. So I'll go this way and I'll go backwards. I'll bank that, get a little bit of energy here. Now I can turn in the direction I want to go and go forward. Now here's the other piece of this. If I want to trade my energy for new cards, I can purge my slots. Purge, purge. Now I'll get no energy, but I'm going to get 4 new cards to keep trying to get to where I'm going and what I'm doing. Now keep in mind, there's another real player normally who is, as you can see if I move him around here with my other screen that you're not looking at, is also playing the game at the same time and making these same decisions. So you're pitting yourself against another real player and trying to weigh all these choices. So that's the crux of the game as it stands. So a normal match shouldn't take more than a couple minutes. It's a very quick pick up and play sort of thing. But what I'm currently working on, let me actually show you. Here's my to-do list. If you've watched my videos, you see that this is kind of like a very quick snapshot way that I like to use to kind of keep track of what I got going on and what I want to do and what I don't want to do. I think it's very easy to make these very long and complicated and like really segment out what you got going on. But for me, I don't know. I just like to keep it kind of simple like this. It's easier for me if it's not too daunting, I guess. So my to-do list, I need to add a little more juice, just a little bit. I'm almost done with that. There's a player 2 energy glitch. There's a couple other little bugs that I need to fix. I have to figure out how Google Ads works in here. So that's on the docket for the next few days, is figuring out how to get the Google AdSense running in my game. If I end up getting everything done quickly, this third piece this might be an update that I'll add later. If I can, I'll add it before release, but it's to add some special ability cards to choose from. Maybe, 3 to 6 possible things that you could have, like gain 1 extra energy when you do this, or have a shield at the beginning, or your bullets do an extra damage if you shoot twice in a row, or and each player would get a chance at the beginning to choose their special power, which could make things a little more interesting. I have another little bug with the player win screens, like player 1 wins, player 2 wins, etc. Trying to work out how to show who wins and log all that info for leaderboards and things like that, and make it all run smoothly. Has proven a little more complicated, weirdly enough, than I expected, because I'm trying to do like actual full-on scene transitions from one set of code to a new set, and like remove both players from the lobby, but track who won and lost and show the right screen to each person. And it's not super complicated. It's just something that I threw together and was like, there we go, I'm done. And then through some testing, I realized that it doesn't always work correctly. So that's probably going to take me like an afternoon to fix. And then the shield system. So right now, your possible cards are move forward, move backward, turn left, and turn right. And I felt like that just wasn't quite compelling enough. It didn't give enough options to to make things quite interesting enough, in my opinion. So I actually am adding a shield card that will nullify 1 damage. You can activate it and it'll just stay active until you take damage. Of course, the downside, which is what makes it interesting, is you have to choose how many you want in your deck. Just like all the cards at the beginning of the match, you have to choose how many of each of these cards you want. You only have a limited amount of time to choose before the match starts. Having too many shields, you can only have 1 active, so you end up you can theoretically end up filling up your hand with shields, and you can't move, you can't do anything, and you can only have 1 active, so you're not gaining energy, and you can get in an energy deficit to your opponent by having too many of them. But they can also save your life. They can be very useful. So you have to balance if you want to hold shields, how many you want in your deck, if you purge them or not, or keep them for safety. So I think it adds a lot more strategy to the game, so I'm currently adding those in. I have them almost implemented in the arena, which I'm about to show you, the practice arena. And then I have to go back in and add them for player 1 and player 2 in the multiplayer version. Let me show you the practice arena real quick. So I realized that, not everybody wants to play against another human being all the time, or wait for matchmaking if, things are slow and there's not a lot of players on. Or you might just not want to destroy your win-loss ratio, because there are leaderboards, and you might not, want to play the game a bunch and, get a bunch of losses while you're trying to figure out how everything works and what kind of deck you like to make. So I implemented a practice arena where you play by yourself against a couple of little robots. And the way these work in the background is every 3 seconds there's basically a dice roll, and a 1 in 12 chance of moving to the left, 1 in 12 chance of moving to the right, 1 in 12 chance of moving backwards, and then a 1 in 4 chance of moving forward. They never turn, they just fire to the left. And as you can see, right now in the practice arena, I'm implementing the shield system. So currently I have a shield active on player 1 just to, test it and get it working correctly. Let me see if I can get in the way. It's kind of hard actually to intentionally get shot. But as you can see, so the thing that I think sets this game apart is this mixture of real time. For 15 seconds, you and your opponent are both moving around and watching each other move around. And you have 15 seconds before you're gonna fire. And your opponent has 4 cards and you have 4 cards. So there tends to be a bit of a standoff that happens where you're trying to balance when to go, but when to make your moves within your 15 seconds versus your opponent. Maybe you want to juke, you can juke, you can turn and move to the left, knowing that you're going to be able to turn and move back to the right by the end, right? There's all these options to sort of feint and counter feint, and or maybe in your head you want to construct, okay, I'm going to go forward, then move to the right, and then go forward again, and then try to sneak that in at the end. But your enemy's trying to do the same thing, so it's feint, counter feint kind of thing, and then trying to get a shot on each other, because damaging your opponent actually ends up reducing their energy totals. And it also, if you do 4 damage, your enemy just dies and you win automatically. So that's really the crux of the game. But yeah, as you can see here, they just kind of, in the practice arena, they will actually come at you and try to take you down. So anyhow, a couple other things here, just kind of inside baseball stuff. I actually used, let's see here, freesounds.org or freesound.org for a lot of these sounds. One of the really cool things you can do in here, if you're a developer and you don't know about this, if you're like an indie dev like I am, good Lord, go get a freesounds.org account. It's literally free. And you can actually search, let's say you want a button click sound, right? Like I've used some button click sounds a few different times in here. I seem to be frozen here. Let me button click. And then you can search for Creative Commons. You can do attribution, non-commercial. There's lots of options here. But if you do Creative Commons, you can do whatever you want with the sounds. You just download them, you listen through, find one you like, download it, and add it to your game. So what I end up doing is I will pull them into Audacity, which I'm actually using Audacity right now to record this. So, but this is Audacity. If you haven't used it, it's also free. And you can literally just take the sounds out of a file and drag them and drop them into here, and then do all sorts of effects on them. You can stack sounds together. You can drop more than one in here and move them along the timeline and make it into one, create one sound file. You can use this to normalize the audio so that it's a normal volume and not super loud or super quiet. It's just, 0 decibel kind of thing. Super, super useful application. So I got most of my sounds from there. Most of the visuals I just made myself on an iPad with Procreate. Some of the buttons and things are just default buttons within GDevelop. And that's pretty much all of it. Like I just made a few assets myself. I used Canva for the title screen and some of that stuff. But yeah, really pretty straightforward development process between GDevelop, Audacity, Canva, and Procreate. But between those 4 items, it's pretty much everything. Pretty much all of it. So that's what I'm working on. It'll be out soon. If you're interested in playing it, just keep an eye out here or on, one of my social media outlets. I don't do a ton on those, but, I announce big things. So you can look up Oyav on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And again, you'll see that there's not much there because I'm not one really to do a lot of that, which needs probably to change. Obviously, I hate marketing. I hate sales. I like doing this, but I don't like being required to, post little silly things to keep people interested, like little blips of stuff. I mean, you see how long it took me to make this, but I have to keep myself accountable here. But anyhow, so that's what I've been doing. I've been making this game. The warp drive is offline. It's going to be available soon on Android. I would love for you guys to play it once it's out. I'd like to hear feedback. And I know some of my viewers out there, because you've told me that you are indie devs, or you would like to be a solo indie dev, or you have some sort of interest in that. If so, I would love to hear from you guys. How often for you do you do game jams? First of all, what value do you find in them? And have you ever done what I'm doing, where you sort of came up with a game jam game on the fly and liked it enough to try to develop it into something more and not just drop it after the week? Because I'm finding the game jams super valuable. So if you're not, I'll leave you with this. If you are a solo indie dev and you want to know how to get better faster, a lot of people will tell you, join a course, or study this or study that. Screw that. Do a game jam. Do as many game jams as you can. It'll take you away from what you're currently doing, But every time I do one, I learn a bunch of new things that I didn't know before because I'm solving new problems that in my last game I might not have had to solve. The game jam's really knowing that there's the pressure to get done, but no pressure to create a commercial project or product, means that you very quickly, or at least I do, start thinking outside the box, right? I'm not thinking about how to make the perfect thing. I'm just, how do I make the thing? And it really opens up creativity. So really consider doing a game jam. Go to itch.io and just go to their game jams page. There's a calendar. There's tons of them all the time. Join one. Try one. But that's what I'm leaving you with. So you can go check out an early beta version of my game. It's a little glitchy. It's a little buggy. Some things go wrong. But you can go check it out on GD Games, gd.games. The warp drive is offline. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description below. But if not, GD Games, gd.games. The warp drive is offline. You can go give it a try. See what you think. Give me some feedback. But yeah. Otherwise, look out for it here pretty soon. Keep an eye on here. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. If you watched this far, please give me a like. It makes a big difference on this. I mean, what is, I would like more people to see this because it means more people might play my game. I know you don't care. I mean, unless you're like my mom. Hi, Mom. But, please, please subscribe if you find my content interesting. And let me know what else you think I should do. What do you want to see? I will break this game down and show you anything you want. If you want to know how I made something work, if you want to know how I created some art assets, how I made a sound, what my philosophy is, any of that. Anything you want to know, I'm an open book. So if you're out there trying to learn like I am, we can all learn from each other. So let me know if there's anything you want me to tell you about, and I will make a video showing you exactly what you ask for. Just have to ask. So thanks for watching, and I will be back soon to announce this game's official release. Soon. Sooner than it's been since the last video, I promise. Bye.